Hey guys, welcome back to I Love You, Colonel Sanders. So let's continue where we left off. You awake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. Did you make the right decision on how to respond to Colonel Sanders? Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast, and your mouth waters at the sight of it. Here's a simple breakfast I just whipped up. It's meticulous. It looks delicious, actually. I'm really hungry. You taste Colonel Sanders' food, and it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question. So, would you say that we're the perfect match? How presumptuous! My cuisine and your taste buds, that is. Such confidence, such grace! Could he be the world's greatest gift to cookery? Flatter him. You know, I think we might make a great team. A single tear begins to pool in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window. And with the right business partner, I know I can't fail. Business partner? Could he be talking about you? It's all happening so quickly. Overcome with emotion and confused by your feelings, you're on the verge of tears. Unable to speak, the only answer you can find is to run out the door and get home. There's still one more day of school after all. The University of Cooking School Academy for Learning waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is there waiting for you. Where have you been? Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to talk to you about it, but I couldn't find you. I got worried that something had happened to you. It's okay, I was just... But now that it turns out you're fine, I can finally get you up to speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but... You will not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date! I think I can believe that. Since I've been partnered up with Clank, he asked me to go out with him. Of course, I told him, you'd better keep your dials turned to polite and respectful. I'm not that kind of girl. But he was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me. So I said, yeah, sure, I can get to know the little metallic guy. Long story short, he took me skydiving with his friends, but things quickly spiraled out of control. Did she just say skydiving as if that's a typical first date to go on with a talking pressure cooker? And now I'm not really sure where we stand. You don't give Miriam time to tell her whole story. However, bottling up the details of your own night is just too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house, where I spent the night with him. You what? Nothing happened, but the emotional connection. Wowzers. Miriam tells you to move on from this whole Colonel Sanders obsession and focus on school. If being obsessed with Colonel Sanders is wrong, you don't want to be right. After a short argument, you both agree to go your separate ways. When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals in the quad. You can tell from a distance that they're picking on Pop, though he himself might not quite grasp at that fact. Because you know he's Pop. What's a swirly? It sounds delicious! Oh, it's great. I'll order you up one right away. I'll have my swirly with sprinkles, please! Sprinkles is a dog and a treat! You can't get your swirly dip too. You can get your swirly dip too. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person at the school. There is that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school. But who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? You've got some nerve, Miss Dragon, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. Now you're twisting my words, and I won't have it. You clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mixture accident makes you wince with pain. Doesn't look like you can go on cooking like that. Might as well just give up. I will never give up. Ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over, a naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on. Is everyone excited for the final day of school? Miss Dragon, how's that hand feeling? I'm sure you'll be back in fighting form by this afternoon. Aren't you concerned about my hand, Colonel? Yesterday I almost broke a nail winning so hard. Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but your presentation was quite impressive. What is he doing complimenting her? But what about the flavor of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce? It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received. That's a lot of words to say. That's a lot of words to say it was bland. Excuse me, Miss Dragon. I am more than capable enough to speak for myself. Maybe you could tell me more of your thoughts as we walk into class, Colonel? I'm always interested in discussing the fine arts of fine foods. See you inside, Miss Dragon. Annoyed by Colonel Sanders' inability to see Ashley for who you know she really is, you walk across the quad to get some distance. In an attempt to distract yourself from how slighted you feel by that interaction with Ashley, you take out the spell book and you take out the spell book you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. Whoa! That's that book? It looks like bad news. I get to say, what's that book? It's just something I found lying around. It would appear to be some sort of grimoire, but I don't really believe in that magic stuff. A grimoire? Like a book of spells? I don't know. Who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it weren't really powerful? I can think of one surefire way to find out. You open to a page covered with arcane warriors. Warriors. Warnings! They're warnings. Cast only in case of an extreme emergency, it says around the edges of the page. I could use this spell here that says it will erase anyone I choose from all of my memories. If I scrap out Colonel Sanders, it would probably help me focus better on the upcoming final exam. That is way drastic. Couldn't you do something else? Like anything else not rooted in dark magic? Maybe tie a string around your finger? Okay, fine. It is drastic. But desperate times call for desperate measures. You've got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you and a pretty good excuse to try it out. Don't do it after all. You take your friend's advice and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkles is already in the room, waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his throat to make a quick announcement. Ahem. I want you all to know I feel something of a dog moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. His cute little nose scrunches up and he begins to breathe quickly. Dogs can be rather unpredictable, especially Sprinkles. Wait to see what happens. Sprinkles stops in his tracks. He focuses on the window. The room is deadly silent. When you follow his gaze, you see a tiny orange squirrel perched on the cherry tree outside. Sprinkles turns feral and runs to the window of the classroom. He begins barking uncontrollably at the squirrel outside. Terrence! I told you never to come back here! Terrence! I will destroy you! Terrence! Oh, pardon. Wow. Sprinkles is barking ferociously, drool flying off of his face. The squirrel looks over, but he doesn't say anything back. You wonder, is that even a talking squirrel? Who named him Terrence? You'd better not show your chubby cheeks around here ever again! After Sprinkles is satisfied that his presence has been felt by not only Terrence, Sprinkles felt his own presence. Anyways, but any other squirrel in hearing distance, he returns to his professorial tone that
Ahem. I apologize for the outburst. This actually brings up an important point. Thank you, Miss Dragon, for reminding me to dole out this indispensable bit of wisdom. You see... But before he can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into the class. Sprinkles is interrupted by whirs and sparks coming from the back of the room.
I told you to save it for after class. Bzz, bzz. You think I want to be thrown from a plane strapped to a stranger?
Wanted. Miriam and Clank appear to be arguing, but you still haven't learned to speak Clank's language of mechanical noises.
But no, you had to show off to your cool kid friends, Jeff and Joanne, J&J forever. Watch us form a triangle in midair as we descend. Triangles are the strongest shape, don't you know?
Bzz, bzz.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make it a great date.
Beep. Whir.
Then take Jeff and Joanne with you. You can all hold hands as you pedal down the mountain or off a cliff for all I care.
Sad beep. Clank begins to shudder. Steam pours out of the gaps in his panels, and then a loud ding stops him in his tracks. Beep. Bzz.
No amount of seasoning is going to make me want to eat that, Clank.
Clank burps out a completely deep-fried sneaker. Considering that he himself has wheels, not feet, it's not entirely clear where it came from. In terms of deep-fried footwear, I guess it looks okay. Clank slowly rolls out of the room to be alone with his shoe. Everyone tries to pretend like they didn't see that entire thing go down. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a pall over the final day of school. Well, that was unfortunate. But we mustn't be distracted from what lies ahead. The final competition showdown challenge exam trademark. I'm still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you all in the arena. But before you can think about your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Hey, Miriam, are you okay?
Okay? I'm so mad I can smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa all over the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that, in front of everyone?
Her tiny cocoa is a delicious treasure, so you know that this breakup is no joke, even if the source of her frustration is such a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. You don't need anyone. Me and you, we're gonna cruise through this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all the way.
You're not going to saddle up on Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me.
Of course not. Well, maybe, sorta. But I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it, and a ranch big enough for both of us and whoever else we want to bring along. If it's not Pop or Clank, or anyone else you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person who shouldn't settle for the first someone to show a little interest anyhow. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tears from her cheeks.
I should really review my menu for today. I'm going to make a very special soup.
And I bet that Professor Dog is gonna love it up. While you were pep-talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay, because you had a better idea of how to spend the time before your exam. You've decided to head to the arena early to practice a dish. This is it, the location of your final challenge. A test of will, a test of courage, a test of talent. And a chance to beat the pants off of Van, the supposed man, and his evil-er counterpart, Ashley. As planned, you begin to run through a quick test of a recipe you've been working on. Miss Dragon's famous chicken pot pie. After practicing for months, making this dish comes second nature to you, and you're able to quickly get a fresh pot pie in the oven. But as soon as you do, Your cram session is interrupted by Colonel Sanders. Miss Dragon, what are you doing here? There's still time before the final exam. Oh, just taking it all in. I'm big into visualizing success. I'm looking at my station and picturing victory. The pot pie has begun to bake, and the smell is slowly filling the space around you. Visualizing, huh? Well, that's too bad. I was hoping you were here cooking something delicious. You'd usually happily share your food with anyone who is hungry, but the last time you let Colonel Sanders get in your head, it cost you a cook-off. You decide that it's time to put your cooking above your romantic desires, but that decision gets hard to stick to when the oven timer goes off behind you. Fess up about your practice dish. Okay, you got me. I'm doing a little bit more than visualizing. I know. My nose can smell a pot pie from 400 yards. That's an oddly specific distance, but you'd expect nothing less from such an oddly specific man. You knew it was a pot pie just from the smell? Not just a pot pie, but a chicken pot pie with an all-butter crust. And my nose is telling me something else. Oh no, is it burning? Ha ha, no. I can smell that it was made with a heaping helping of TLC. But it'll probably start burning any second if you don't pull it out. The moment of truth. Wow. It's the best pot pie I've ever tasted. I've always loved country cooking, and I could eat this all day. There's no time left. The final showdown is about to begin. Sprinkles lays down the ground rules. There are no rules, that is, except to cook with everything you've got. You step up for the cook-off of a lifetime. You decide that mac and cheese plus the pot pie you've been practicing are just the dishes that'll push you over the edge to victory. Meanwhile, both Van Van and Ashley are prepping wildly elaborate dishes, per their usual over-the-top selves. Miriam has her giant magnifying glass and several sets of tweezers. She's definitely prepared to go big going small. Colonel Sanders seems to be harnessing his 11 herbs and spices, but he's trying to find a way to improve on something perfect. His original recipe, fried chicken. The intensity in the room starts at a full 10 out of 10 with a frenzy of action. Everyone is calling out really cool special cooking moves as they prepare their food. Wow, this is getting serious. Colonel Sanders batters his chicken as it levitates through the air. Egg wash. What? Miriam furiously injects ingredients into an itty-bitty pot of broth. Best friend Bester Blaster! Van Van flexes his pectorals as he chops open a sea urchin. Let's rock and roll! Ashley scoops her pastries off the tray with lightning speed. Shallow personality spatula! Even Clank gets in on it. 5-dial pressure point chicken cooking technique. Wait, when did Clank learn to speak English? It's the singularity, as was foretold. We mustn't let it happen, or the appliances uprising will take us all. Self-destruct. Van Van quickly unplugs Clank and rolls him out the back door of the arena. As you frantically prepare your dish, you notice Ashley has her spellbook out. Is she going to use some dark magic to turn the tide? You've got a book of your own, and you're desperate not to see her win another battle. Should you take this opportunity to fight magic with magic, even if it's almost certainly evil magic? Well, we'll find out next time, because this is where I'm leaving the video, guys. Cliffhanger. Yeah, until then, I will see you next time. Bye.